Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are reading Copper Sun by Sharon Draper, and we are now on chapter 31, which jumps back to Amari's perspective, and it is the doctor's choice. The wagon lumbered slowly down the road. Most of the leaves of the trees, Amari noticed, were turning gold and copper with rusty hues. The sun shone brightly over, the wind blew gently from the east, but a storm of turmoil hovered over the small wagon in which they rode. Polly sat with her arms wrapped tightly around her body. Tibbet still cried for his mother, burying himself in Amari's arms. Amari, feeling bereft and empty inside, held the child and stared at the thick woods on either side of the road. I'm to be sold once more? Is this the way it will be forever, to be passed from one owner to another like a cow? Afi had constantly talked about her bright spirit and her future, but Amari could see nothing but the darkness. She found she did not have Afi's strength. After an hour or so, Dr. Hoskins, who so far said nothing at all to the passengers in the back of the wagon, slowly pulled over to the side of the road. The horse snorted and grabbed mouthfuls of soft grass. The doctor was silent for a moment. Then he turned around to look at his three passengers. He took a deep breath, then said quietly, "I am ashamed to be a human being this morning. I witnessed not just murder last night, but violence and cruelty and vicious hatred. By saying nothing, I feel I am as responsible as my so-called friend who pulled the trigger." Mari and Polly exchanged stunned looks. Dr. Hoskins continued, "I am just one man. I don't know how to fight everything that is happening around me. I don't understand how one man can own another, and I don't know how to stop it." He looked around at the deep woods and the darkness within them. "But I can help the three of you." "How, sir?" Polly asked immediately. I plan to give you a fight, at least a fighting chance." He kept looking around him as if someone would come down the road and discover what he was doing. "I have a little money and some food that Lena made up for our journey this morning." He pointed to a small bundle beneath the seat of the wagon. "You not take us to town to be sold?" Amari asked, her voice hopeful. "No, child, I'm not." "What do we do, sir?" Polly asked. "The Ashley River runs parallel to this road," he said, pointing to the west. "Find the river and follow it north. You will have to stay hidden during the day and travel only at night. Can you do that?" "Oh, yes, sir," Polly replied with enthusiasm. "You'll have at least a day before they discover you're missing. I'll wait until tomorrow evening before I am forced to report your escape to Mr. Derby. If I should come up with the money to pay the purchase price for the three of you, I'd do it gladly," he said. "But unfortunately, I have no such means. All I can give you is time." Mari frowned as she tried to make sense of the doctor's words. He spoke very fast, and she had to take her time to make sure she understood. "How are we gonna escape?" she asked, still unsure of the doctor's plan. "I'm setting you free," the doctor replied. "We be free?" Amari asked, hardly daring to believe it. The word itself stunned her. The doctor replied, "Well, I'm going to try to give you one small chance to be free. It's up to you and to the spirits of hope and possibility." That much of the conversation Amari understood clearly. She thought of Afi and her unfailing faith in the future. "We are so grateful for this opportunity, sir," Polly said, her voice breaking. You are saving our lives." "This could just as easily destroy your lives," he warned. "There'll be patrols out and documents posted for your arrest and dogs following your trail." "How do we hide from dogs?" Amari asked. "You can't. Dogs are trained to trace your smell and attack you when they find you. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat the danger." "What happened to you when Master Derby know you help us?" Amari asked. "Me? I'll tell him we were attacked by highwaymen. I'll fake an injury to make it seem real. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine." Amari stared intently at the kindly, silver-haired doctor. She never would have imagined a white man willing to help her. "You gonna tell Teeny her child not get sold?" Amari asked as she held Tibbet's hand. "Of course, but it won't be soon," he warned. Amari breathed a sigh of relief. She couldn't bear to think of Teeny's misery. The doctor looked sadly at the three young people in the wagon. "You're just children," he mused, shaking his head. He reached under the seat and pulled out an old feed sack. From it he took a small bundle of food, a couple of coins, and a flintlock musket. Amari gasped at the sight of the gun. "Use this only to save your life, not for hunting. You do not want to draw attention to yourself." "How would it work?" Amari asked. Polly spoke up quietly. "I know how to use it. My father taught me. You half cock the hammer, pour in the gunpowder, wrap the lead ball, then stuff it into the barrel and fire. Amari was impressed. The doctor nodded with approval. Are you a good shot? He asked. Polly looked away. No, sir, not very. My father tried to teach me, but I could not shoot straight. The doctor shook his head. He gave Polly a small pouch that held the ammunition, as well as the sack. You have enough gunpowder for only one shot. Make it count. Yes, sir, I will. Thank you, sir. She carefully placed the gun into the bag and hoisted the sack over her shoulder. Hurry, the doctor said, glancing around worriedly. Get out of the wagon and as deeply as you can into the woods. Mari looked up at him and smiled as she and Polly climbed out of the wagon. They both helped Tibbet down. Thank you, sir. She never thought she'd be thanking a white man. May God have mercy on all of you, the doctor replied. The wagon disappeared into the distance. The three children stood wordlessly for a moment, watching it, then, realizing their danger, darted into the darkness of the woods. So, a pretty quick chapter. We see that Cato was 100% correct about the doctor. He does not approve of slavery. And I mentioned this earlier in the story that there were a lot of white people who in America, or the Americas at the time, who did not agree with slavery. Just common sense shows you that it's wrong. But there wasn't a lot that those few people who did disagree with it could do. It was the way of the crown. Remember, this is not the United States. You can't vote on things. This is ran by the British Empire at the time. So, and Britain was, lock and stock and barrel in the slave trade. So, didn't really have a vote of it. There really wasn't anything you could do. Even once America became the United States, or part of America became the United States, even then, it was used to boost up the economy of the United States. And there wasn't a lot that those people could do. They had to, just go along to get along. So, but you do hear instances, especially later in the 1800s when Harriet Tubman was running the Underground Railroad, that there were a few white people here and there who tried to help, tried to get slaves free because they knew it was wrong. And Amari, this is her third time witnessing a white person who didn't really agree with slavery and who is helping her. And this one is actually putting his career and a lot of other things on the line. He's pretty sure, because he's a respected doctor, that he could get away with his lie. That not a lot of people will question him, so to speak. Maybe a few, but he'll be fine. He won't be in any danger. And as you can tell, even as a doctor, he didn't have enough money to afford 2 slaves and an indentured servant, where Mr. Derby had a lot of money. He had that loan money. So he was able to do it. But yeah, so now we get to the next part where we will see what happens. Now, they are free. What are they going to do? Cato has been right so far. Are they going to go south, or, as the doctor said, to head north? Remember, north was the preferred way, because when you go north, even though they had slavery in the northern area of America, it wasn't as fundamental to the economy as it was in the South. So you did have a lot of free slaves in the northern part of America. So, so this finishes up with chapter 31, and we will see you on the next one.